Freedom consists not in doing what we like, but in having the right to do what we ought. Have no fear of moving into the unknown. Simply step out fearlessly, knowing that I am with you. Therefore, no harm can befall you. All is very, very well. Do this in complete faith and confidence. To maintain a joyful family requires much from both the parents and the children. Each member of the family has to become, in a special way, the servant of the others. When freedom does not have a purpose, when it does not wish to know anything about the rule of law engraved in the hearts of men and women, when it does not listen to the voice of conscience, it turns against humanity and society. Young people are threatened by the evil use of advertising techniques that stimulate the natural inclination to avoid hard work by promising the immediate satisfaction of every desire. From now on, it is only through a conscious choice and through a deliberate policy that humanity can survive. You are our dearly beloved brothers, and in a certain way, it could be said that you are our elder brothers. Wars generally do not resolve the problems for which they are fought, and therefore prove ultimately futile. Stupidity is also a gift of God, but one mustn't misuse it. As the family goes, so goes the nation, and so goes the whole world in which we live. Social justice cannot be attained by violence. Violence kills what it intends to create. Love is never defeated, and I could add, the history of Ireland proves it. Pervading nationalism imposes its dominion on man today in many different forms and with an aggressiveness that spares no one. The challenge that is already with us is the temptation to accept as true freedom what in reality is only a new form of slavery. There are people and nations, Mother, that I would like to say to you by name. I entrust them to you in silence. I entrust them to you in the way that you know best. Humanity should question itself once more about the absurd and always unfair phenomenon of war, on whose stage of death and pain only remains standing the negotiating table that could and should have prevented it. The question confronting the Church today is not any longer whether the man in the street can grasp a religious message, but how to employ the communications media so as to let him have the full impact of the gospel message. The historical experience of socialist countries has sadly demonstrated that collectivism does not do away with alienation, but rather increases it, adding to it a lack of basic necessities and economic inefficiency. The vow of celibacy is a matter of keeping one's word to Christ and the Church, a duty and a proof of the priest's inner maturity. It is the expression of his personal dignity. The future starts today, not tomorrow. Do not abandon yourselves to despair. We are the Easter people, and Hallelujah is our song. Science can purify religion from error and superstition. Religion can purify science from idolatry and false absolutes. I have a sweet tooth for song and music. This is my Polish sin. The great danger for family life, in the midst of any society whose idols are pleasure, comfort, and independence, lies in the fact that people close their hearts and become selfish. I kiss the soil as if I placed a kiss on the hands of a mother, for the homeland is our earthly mother. I consider it my duty to be with my compatriots in this sublime and difficult moment. I hope to have communion with the people. That is the most important thing. The unworthy successor of Peter, who desires to benefit from the immeasurable wealth of Christ, feels the great need of your assistance, your prayers, your sacrifice, and he most humbly asks this of you. The United Nations organization has proclaimed 1979 as the Year of the Child. Are the children to receive the arms race from us as a necessary inheritance? Radical changes in world politics leave America with a heightened responsibility to be, for the world, an example of a genuinely free, democratic, just, and humane society. Today, for the first time in history, a bishop of Rome sets foot on English soil. This fair land, once a distant outpost of the pagan world, has become, through the preaching of the gospel, a beloved and gifted portion of Christ's vineyard. The cemetery of the victims of human cruelty in our century is extended to include yet another vast cemetery, that of the unborn. You will reciprocally promise love, loyalty, and matrimonial honesty. We only want for you this day that these words constitute the principle of your entire life, and that with the help of divine grace, you will observe these solemn vows that today, before God, you formulate. You are priests, not social or political leaders. Let us not be under the illusion that we are serving the gospel through an exaggerated interest in the wide field of temporal problems. Violence and arms can never resolve the problems of men. Marriage is an act of will that signifies and involves a mutual gift, which unites the spouses and binds them to their eventual souls, with whom they make up a soul family, a domestic church. War is a defeat for humanity. An excuse is worse and more terrible than a lie, for an excuse is a lie guarded.